Having a secondary battery on your Jeep is going to be a good idea for those of you that like to go camping, run auxiliary lights, sound, or really anything that draws power off of your battery, and you want the peace of mind of knowing that if that battery dies, you still have a second one to start the Jeep, get the alternator running, and charge both batteries back up again. Today we're going to talk through the installation of this battery tray, which I am going to give a fairly simple 2 out of 3 wrenches. You are going to have to do a little bit of cutting and a little bit of disassembly under the engine bay to get this installed, but it shouldn't take you more than 2 hours to complete, and most of you will be able to do this in your driveway, and we'll talk a little bit more about that install in just a second. If you're just somebody who has a winch, some lights, some other auxiliary things that you're going to be running while the engine is running, then having a dual battery setup isn't going to be necessary. Of course, when the engine's running, the alternator is spinning, it's recharging your battery, and you wouldn't necessarily need a setup like this one. It's also important to note that if you do want a dual battery setup, it's not going to be as simple as just getting one of these trays, putting both batteries in, and calling it a day. If that's the case, one battery will constantly be discharging off of the other one, and you won't have a very useful system. You are going to need some sort of management mechanism in order to make sure that both batteries stay charged and don't discharge each other. As far as construction goes, there isn't a ton to say about these battery trays. This is designed to hold 2 factory-sized batteries. This is going to be a steel tray covered in a gloss black powder coat that's going to help protect the steel. This is also going to come with a tie-down or a strap mechanism to make sure that the battery stays in place. Other than that, again, not too much to say about the way these are built. Like I said, I'm going to give the install for this battery tray a 2 out of 3 wrenches because there is some cutting and some disassembly to do, and it may take you around 2 hours to complete this. Once you get under the hood, you're going to have to disconnect and pull your factory battery. You'll have to disconnect and unbolt your fuse block, also your air intake, and finally remove that factory battery tray. That's where you'll have to do some cutting and some trimming. Then you can put everything back together with your new battery in place. And of course, you will need that management mechanism, that management system to ensure that the batteries aren't going to discharge each other and that you have 2 useful batteries. This dual tray is going to come in at right around $120, which is pretty comparable to some of the other ones on the market. And this is just going to be a place to set your batteries. As long as it's pretty sturdy, I think it's going to do its job. So I can't imagine spending a lot more for another brand. I think $120 is a fair price for what you're getting. So if you have the need for a dual battery setup, you want to squeeze 2 batteries in the place of one, a dual tray like this is going to be a great option. The install is going to be fairly simple, even though there's a little bit of disassembly to do and a little bit of cutting, but I think the price is fair and this is definitely going to get the job done. So that's my review of the Rugged Ridge dual battery tray fitting all 2007 and up JKs that you can find right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.